Hey everybody, welcome back to my podcast. There's always more. This is your host, Nicole Segovia. Once again, thank you so much for joining and listening in today. Today is going to be episode number 8, and today I want to talk about setting personal boundaries. This is something that I have personally learned to do. I think I learned the hard way. It took some letdowns and just some recognition on my part that setting your boundaries is really, really healthy because you need to take care of yourself as well. So I want to talk about how it began and how I started to notice, I need to set my own boundaries. I'm giving too much and I'm not receiving enough. So I became very overwhelmed. I did begin working at an early age. I got a job right when I turned 16. My birthday's in December, and I was already working late December. I was I want to work, want my own money. So I got hired at a very young age. At the same time, I have been playing volleyball since I was a freshman in high school, and I did play all 4 years. Of course, I had school. And just between those 3 things, working at an early age, volleyball, and having school all the time, I do feel like I grew up a little bit faster than normal people. And it sucked looking back because I feel as if I missed a lot. I missed out on going out with my friends because I either had practice or I had a game or I had to be early, I had to be up early the next day for one of those things. Or I was going from practice to work. So that doesn't really allow time to do much, in between. Of course, I have homework and all the regular school stuff as well. So I used to feel very overwhelmed at a very young age. And for that, I did have to grow up. I grew up, I had to become more responsible earlier than a lot of my friends did. And that's fine because it's made me who I am today, but it did contribute to the factor. I also have this fear of telling people no. Now, that can go in many different directions. It could be something as simple as hey, can you babysit my kids? And I want to help everybody. I love to help people. I love to be there for people. I want to make people's lives easier. And so the fear of saying no is really, really big for me. I'm always helping others. And sometimes that does require me to overfill my plate. Now, at this point in time, my plate I have college, I have regular work, I'm coaching volleyball, I have my own personal relationship and friendships and family members and friends, and it's a lot. It does become overwhelming, but I've learned how to manage my time better, and so I learned how to check in on myself. I learned if I feel tired and overwhelmed, first, why do I feel this way? And second, is it something that I have control over that I can fix? Maybe I am overfilling my plate and maybe I have to say no. Saying no to me is almost like disappointing somebody else, and that's why I'm afraid of doing it. But the power of no it's been really helpful for me. So I'm glad that I learned how to do it. And it literally just takes one, for me, it took one time. I was asked to do something and I had a lot to do that day already for myself, and I said no. And I was like, oh. And the person that I said no to didn't even take it in a rude way. They were like, oh, girl, I totally understand. It's totally fine. But I always think that people are going to take it negatively, so I have a hard time doing it. But after that one time, I was like, dang, if you just explain yourself a little bit, you don't have to even go in depth because you technically don't even owe anybody an explanation, but just giving them hey, I have a lot on my plate right now. I would love to, but maybe in the future when I have some more time available, I would love to help you. And that's it. So learning how to say no and not being afraid of saying no like I was is really, really huge. Another thing that really, really messed me up mentally and physically was I was investing so much time in the wrong people and in the wrong things. For example, I'm not going to mention names because I just don't want to get into that, but my old job, I was there for 4.5 years, and I'm a very loyal employee. If I work for you, I will work my hardest every time. I am never late. I am never calling in sick. If you need me there later than normal and you ask me, 9 times out of 10 I will say. If I'm late, I will always say why, or something happened. I'm always early to work, never late. That's just how I want to come off, that's just my personal morals. And so being that I am so invested in my work, whatever it is that I'm doing at the time, when I am not shown the appreciation or the love back that I'm giving, it hurts. It hurts because think about it. How much time do we spend at work? You're there and I'm a part-time because I'm in school, but I was there for a long, long time, 8-hour shifts, just working like anybody else. And so when I work my butt off along with my coworkers, but the company that we work for doesn't always show us the love back, or, hey, you know what? I understand that things are hard right now, but we really appreciate your hard work. To me, it felt very, very money driven. It did. And I get that money. I get it. Money does make the world go round, but you still have to take care of who is doing the hard work for you to get that money. It doesn't just come out of anywhere, okay? People that are, the face of the company might not be the ones actually earning the money. So, or, your main manager or your main boss, like they do different jobs. They do sometimes more like behind the scene jobs that you don't always see them doing. So I'm not saying that they're not working, because they are. But what I'm saying is it takes the frontliners, of whatever company you're working for, because we are the ones that interact with the customers more. And so I just feel like I wasn't shown the appreciation that I should have gotten. I also have invested in the wrong people when it comes to friendships, and that hurts even more because I am a person that always wants to see the best in people. And that comes along with giving people way too many chances. Because I honestly think that there's a good person inside of everyone, but I shouldn't have to bring that out of somebody to make them my friend. And that's what I used to do. I used to want people to like me. I wanted to be liked by everybody. Well, reality check, sister. They are not everybody's going to like you, but that's okay. This is why we have friend groups. You should be nice to everybody. If they're not rude to you, you have no reason to be rude back. But not everybody is going to love you or like you, and that is fine. But for me, learning to accept that was hard. It was. And I can't even pinpoint why it was so hard for me, but what I do know is I just wanted to be able to have multiple friends in multiple areas, or even just multiple acquaintances, but I was investing too much time into them. So when I wasn't receiving that back, I was like, well, what the heck? I'm going out of my way. And I thought we were on the same page. So that's where communication wasn't very well. But if you're open with whoever you're talking to as a friend or boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever, make sure that there's open communication. What are we? Where are we going? Because setting boundaries with friendships is extremely important. Some friends that I have more on their plate currently, but we talk and I respect their time and they respect mine. And when we can see each other, we do, and it's awesome. But my friend group is a lot smaller and a lot tighter now because I am picky with my friends, but so should you. You should be picky with your friends, because your people should be a group of people that you feel you can go to with absolutely anything that comes up in your life. And that's when the reevaluation came in as well, because I had to sit down and be like, okay, is this person in my life? Can I talk to them about anything? Can I go to them for help if I absolutely needed it? Would they judge me? It's questions like this that really opened my mind to the fact that I was overstretching friendships for no reason. I already had people in my life that were close and love me and support me, but why was I still searching for more? I honestly can't even answer that question because I don't know why. I, again, continued to invest in friendships and people that just didn't want the same thing, or maybe were using me a little bit, whatever the fact was. But learning how to control what you can control and keep people in your life that are meant to be in your life, because not everybody's meant to be there forever. That's another thing I've learned. Some people come into your life and you just know, like, that's my forever friend, But then there's others that are only going to be lessons. And they might be good and they might be bad lessons. That is just how life is. But I've been able to take the bad lessons and make them better. I learn from them. What did I do wrong in that friendship, or what went wrong in that friendship that I could do better and never have that happen again? So definitely sitting down and asking yourself these questions about the people that you surround yourself with. Are they making you a better person? And ask yourself the same thing. Are you making them a better person? Making sure that we are being good friends and boyfriends and girlfriends and daughters and sisters are also very important things. You have to make sure that what you're asking of somebody, that you are able to give that back. Okay? So I also, not so much anymore, but I do tend to want to be perfect. Not perfect in like myself, but I want to be perfect at the things that I do. So whether that's a sport, work, I always want to strive to be the best version of myself. Because if I'm being honest, guys, when I switched jobs, I did have to learn everything. I was not aware at how to be a barista by any means. And if you know me, I actually do not even, I like coffee, but like I'm not a coffee like fanatic, right? Like I do like the flavor, and I'm more of like a foo-foo coffee drink girl, right? Frappuccinos, iced caramel macchiatos, things like that. However, when I wasn't good at my new job now, I was like, dang, like it's kind of weird not being so good at something because I was at my old job for so long. And I mean, when you're at a job for 4.5 years, like you could do it in your sleep, right? Like I was good at it because I've done it for so long, and that's natural. So I definitely had to take a step down, and I was, being trained, and I wasn't good at it at first, if I'm being honest. I actually sucked. I was very slow making drinks, but people at my job are awesome, and they really, really helped me and were there for me. And now I'm a lot better. I'm not perfect, but I am better, and learning that being perfect in everything that you do is not practical, and it's okay. It's okay to not be perfect in everything that you do. And that is something that did contribute to having to set boundaries that were more realistic for myself. And so within all of these things that I just talked about, I feel a sense, like for me, I personally carry a lot of pressure, and it's not bad pressure. For example, I am the oldest in my household. So, if you're the older kid, I don't know what exactly this is called, but I just feel like we automatically carry more responsibility, right? And I have 2 younger brothers, so sometimes, if my mom needs my help, I can be like their little mom sometimes. I do make dinner, I take them to practice, I pick them up from work, I take, so it's just little things like that it's like the natural pressures, I guess, that come with being the oldest kid. And I'm okay with it. But, that can also become overwhelming sometimes that plus whatever else I have on my plate. And then also when it comes to school, guys, I feel an immense amount of pressure because I am a first generation student. And literally the only thing, like if I did one thing for the rest of my life, I just want to make my grandparents and my mom proud. Like that is everything to me. They weren't able to go to college and receive a higher education, and I am able to, and it's not difficult for me in this, like financially difficult for me. Of course, I'm academically struggling a bit, but that's okay. We get through it every semester and we pull out, good GPAs, but financially I'm blessed that I'm able to attend and pay for school. And that is huge because when I look back into my grandparents and my mom's life and my uncle's life, they could have gone, but they didn't, and they landed amazing jobs without it. But I am given this opportunity, and I want to capitalize on that. So being a first generation student means a lot to me. And I think being a student of any kind, if you're not first gen still, you should be super proud of your accomplishments this far, because it's hard, especially with Zoom now. Like it is hard being a student right now, and making my family proud and my friends and my boyfriend proud, it just means a lot to me. So I carry that pressure on me. Like if I don't do something right, or let's be honest, not every test score is perfect for me. If I kind of slack off on the assignment and I just turn in something kind of crappy, because shoot, like I do feel bad. Like I'm like, dang, like why did that have to happen? sometimes I'm not naturally gifted in the sense of like brains. Like I have to study, I have to read over the same freaking page like 3 times. It's not natural to me. So that pressure that I carry, it's a good pressure, but it still scares me sometimes, if I'm being completely honest. So some conclusions that I can take from this, however, is a few things that I've seen change, good and bad. The first one, all this stress and all this, like, before I started to set boundaries for myself, I was always stressed, moody, and that's honestly a huge contribution to my weight gain. I gained a lot of weight because I was not allowing enough time for myself. Another thing was, again, I missed out on a lot of events with friends and family, whether I was at work, at practice, at school, at, something, games, whatever it was. I was always too busy to even attend some, important events, which sucks. And, of course, not leaving enough room for myself to grow mentally, physically, and just, like, grow as a woman. I feel like I needed time. I needed time for myself to really channel in. And then this one I'm still kind of not struggling with it, but I'm learning to accept it and be thankful, because to me, growing up too fast seems bad back then, back in 2016 when I got my job, but now I don't think I would go back and change it. And let me tell you why. I really, really think that my hustle and my grind and my want to be a successful person comes from that. And I don't know, like, if I was to ever have kids of my own, I don't know if I would pressure them to work at 16. Like, if I can provide for my kids without them having to struggle, then I don't think I would want them to work that early. But then when I look at myself, my mom was not pressuring me to work at 16. I wanted to work at 16 because I wanted to go out with Nate or just go out with my friends, and I didn't want to have to ask her for money. Like, that to me was just a big thing. Like, if I want to do something, it's because I should have the money to do it. Like, my mom shouldn't have to pay for if me and Nate want to grab something to eat, like those things. So I wasn't pressured. I wanted it. So I don't know if I could call that a mistake, because I did kind of regret working so early. But then I'm like, no, like, I was able to do things that most people couldn't at my age because I had money. So I don't really know if that's a bad thing or a good thing, but it did suck in the moment because I, again, missed a lot of events, wasn't able to go to football games or basketball games, whatever it might be. But I don't think I would change it. And I honestly don't know what I would do if and when I have my own kids, because I want them to enjoy the childhood that I somewhat missed out on. But I also think that learning the responsibility of, money doesn't grow on trees, kid. Like, if you want to do stuff, you need to try and give me some effort. So I don't know where that question would lead me, honestly. If you guys have any feedback on that, I would love to hear it. Or maybe you have kids, that are around that age, 16, where you can start working. What do you guys think? I think it's interesting because everyone's at a different financial place in their life, and everybody grew up differently, of course, and so we all have different opinions when it comes to, is it too early? Should they wait till after high school maybe to start working? Maybe don't get a job until your freshman year of college. Like, I don't know, So for sure, let me know what you guys think on that, but I want everybody to know that having boundaries for yourself is extremely important and healthy and good for you. It's good to have you time. You need it, okay? So with that, hopefully you guys were able to, learn something new and hear about how I struggled and what I did to get out of that funk. It's okay to be in the funk. Let's just try to get ourselves out of it so we can be a better person for ourselves and for those people around us. And once again, wherever you are at this point in time, whatever you're doing, good or bad, however you are doing personally, good or bad, there's always more. Never give up on yourself and stay healthy. I can't wait to see you guys next Monday for episode number 9. Thank you so much for tuning in today, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.